Hi, I'm Wade Hansen. I've been selling luxury real estate in Minnesota and Wisconsin for over 23 years. My entire career has been spent protecting my clients from misinformation and unethical practices by those not looking out for their best interests. This podcast will give you the raw truth about everything real estate so you can make solid, informed decisions about the biggest investment of your lifetime. This is the Raw Real Estate Podcast. Brenda? Thank you for joining me. The tables have turned. You actually inspired me to do this, so thank you. I was a guest on your podcast, I think, 6 months ago or so, and you've inspired me to do this, and become kind of a podcast junkie. I know when we originally talked, I really wasn't into podcasts, but I love them, and I think it's a lot of good information out there. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
It's an honor.
You offer a lot of insight into the real estate industry. You've been in this for a long, long time. So maybe just give me a little background.
Not that long.
Well, you're a lot. I know we kind of shared a little bit of the same path. You went a little different direction on that path, but just share a little bit about your background, how long you've been at Results, how you got started.
Okay. I've been at Results for almost 21 years. Prior to RE/MAX Results, I worked for a home builder, Charles Cudd Company, for about 5 years. So in the building residential world for 25 years. And and my role here at RE/MAX Results over the past 21 years has evolved from technology manager to marketing to business development to director of recruiting, pretty much every role except that of a realtor. And I've been CEO for 3 years now.
How's that feel? That's a big title. We're, I think, the largest RE/MAX franchise in the country or the world. Worldwide,
actually. We're off and on. We've taken the worldwide label. We earned it again with 2020. We sold the most real estate for any RE/MAX franchise globally, and that was over 27,000 closed transactions.
That's crazy. You wouldn't think that here in Minnesota. That's just crazy. Now we're at, I think, 47 offices. You guys acquired some offices in the northern.
Yep. Just recently, our latest acquisition was RE/MAX Lakes Area Realty in the Brainerd Lakes area. We added 5 offices, so now we have 47 offices, and we're just over 1,300 agents.
That's a great acquisition, a great market. And
oh my gosh, I've been wanting to move into the Lakes area for a while, so I was very excited.
I'm excited about that. So how does it feel? You're CEO of this huge company. You've worked your way up. Seriously, how does it feel? You must not sleep at night. How does it feel? I really enjoy the job.
I was told probably 10 years ago that someday I would be CEO. I was, what? There were others that saw it in me before I saw it in myself, and I still, to this day, I thank those people for believing in me, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm told that you once you carry the title of chief anything, people look at you differently, people treat you differently, people have this expectation of what type of a person you are, and I'm breaking all the rules, and I'm really enjoying it.
I hope I don't treat you any differently. I think I've known you now, 10 years?
No, you don't. You've never treated me any differently. I appreciate that, Wade.
What do you think has been one of the key factors in the success of this company? I take a lot of pride, and I had an opportunity to sit down with John and talk a little bit about what he's built here and established, and now you've taken that to a whole new level. What do you think has been a key factor in establishing such a successful real estate company?
I would say right from the early days, John Colopy and Bill Saunders, the two original co-founders of RE/MAX Results, they set their standards and they've stuck with them. And now it's my job as at the helm to maintain that legacy, those legacies. Legacies of we are not a discount broker, legacies of we do not hire part-time real estate agents, we only hire full-time sales executives. We only, the list goes on and on of maintaining that high caliber quality sales executive.
That's probably the number one reason I'm very proud to wave the RE/MAX results flag, is the fact that you guys don't bring on part-timers. You guys bring on professionals, full-time agents. You have certain expectations and certain standards of agents, and I'm not surrounded by just a bunch of warm bodies. And I think that's what our industry has become. I think there's brands out there that have been launched in the last my 25 years in this business that have become about bringing on somebody that could fog a mirror, and now they sell a couple homes a year, and they're doing something else full time. And frankly, that's what's got me. Not only you inspired me to start this podcast, but the lack of professionalism, the lack of I guess consumer-centric agents inspired me to launch this. And I just can't imagine. I've got a friend on Facebook. She's a full-time nurse and a part-time realtor. One, I don't want a nurse putting a needle in me thinking about a real estate transaction. And two, I don't want a real estate agent that has to work nights and next day show me homes and negotiate properties. So I think full-time agents and professionals is huge, and I think that's a great philosophy that you guys have always supported.
You've nailed it. And there's been so many different real estate business models, brokerage models that have come and gone in my 21 years of doing this. And when the market does correct, it will someday when it takes us a subtle turn. It's some of these other models that we see out there where all the agents just drop off. And results will just hunker down and weather it out, because our average per agent production number is 24 sides. Where our nearest competitor, their average per agent production is 8 houses a year.
Wow.
And so that's something you had asked me at another time, Wade, what our average per agent production was 5 years ago. I looked it up, same number.
Wow.
That's really important.
That's incredible.
We've always ranged between 23 to 25 sides annually per agent. So that just shows we stick to our standards of the caliber, the quality of the sales executives that we bring to RE/MAX results.
How do you think this business has evolved? I mean, you've been doing this a long time. Is there anything in particular that you think has just been a game changer? What has evolved over the last 20 plus years that you've been in this business?
Over the last 20 years, gosh, so much has changed. I mean, I've seen us go from MLS books, where MLS delivers actual pieces of paper that we insert into these books, and we keep these books in our resource rooms, to diskettes of MLS data where we load data onto computers, to obviously the MLS Online, to electronic lock boxes, to electronic signatures, and now we've got remote online notaries for things. Real estate has become more efficient and in a sense easier to do, but also real estate has never been more difficult. So I was reading National Association of Realtors, NAR. They put out their annual home buyer and seller report every year. It just came out. The annual, it's the profile of the home buyer and seller. And last year was the highest year ever where buyers or sellers hired a real estate agent. That trend has just gone up over the last 40 years. So last year, 90% of sellers relied on real estate agents, the highest number we've ever seen. That number is not declining. Real estate agents have always been very relevant, and they will remain relevant, because the transaction, while it's becoming easier with technology and tools and trends, it's also becoming complex. And artificial intelligence isn't going to replace a realtor like some companies might say. A computer isn't going to, I like the old saying, a computer isn't going to console a seller whose water heater just, exploded the day of the closing. A realtor is going to handle that.
Right.
So some things never change. And the one thing that hasn't changed is the relevancy, the need for working with realtor. FSBOs also in the survey are at the all-time low. Only 7% of people used or did for sale by owner last year.
As I mentioned, this industry frustrates me at times. The lack of professionalism, the lack of just full-time agents, the lack of knowledge, the lack of just representing our clients' best interests. if there's something you would change about just the industry in general, what would that be?
Higher level of entry into the real estate industry. Right now it's 90 hours of education in a national and a state exam. And I just think a higher level of entry. And not necessarily a higher cost of entry. There are some people I'd like to see more diverse group of people joining the real estate industry as well. And there are programs that I'm actually working on to make that happen, but just more education. Yes, more continuing education as well, but just kind of taking that requirement up a notch.
I agree, and I don't know that that'll ever change, unfortunately. Yeah. I think that it almost seemed like it got easier during the pandemic. People were able to do it online, test online, do everything online. And in the 25 years I've been doing this, I know, and you can speak to this too, the real estate contract has certainly gotten more complicated and a lot longer and a lot thicker. The business has gotten more complicated, but the level of entry has not gotten any harder.
Hasn't changed.
So do you think that will ever change? Do you really think that the Association of Realtors will ever step up and do something about that?
I don't know. They're, and that's common. I hear that from brokers all over the U.S. Right now the National Association of Realtors is 1.5 million members strong. So the point of entry, I think, it was 2020, it was COVID. Everybody decided, I'm going to get my real estate license.
Everybody.
Some maybe shouldn't have, but.
It, I don't think it'll change. And I think the reason it won't change is, to be blunt with you, I think those that make those decisions, the president of the Minnesota Association of Realtors, the president of the National Association of Realtors, they're driven by monthly dues. Right? And their salary goes up, the more dues we inject into the bank account of the Association of Realtors. So the more people that are licensed, the more dues they get, and what do they care about, how hard it is to get into the business. So that's my opinion. I don't think that'll ever change, and I think it's unfortunate because I think it's the consumer that suffers. And I think that that's going to continue to go on a downhill slide until something changes. So just my opinion. So on another note, you recently went to Arizona, I think, to a luxury conference.
Yes.
And luxury is kind of my niche, and I'd just like to talk a little bit about that conference and maybe some of your key takeaways and what they had to say about just the luxury market in general. Any specifics that you want to share about that conference, about what they had to say?
Well, the luxury market is just, it's booming. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. You said. It's part of me would like to think it was just RE/MAX results, but it was nationally. It's gone. We're seeing volume. Well, it's price appreciation first of all. So the prices of homes are just skyrocketing, and low interest rates. One point in an interest rate, gets you an extra $100,000 on a home or more, and so it's the average price point for everyone has really skyrocketed. So, a couple of things that I walked away that are just improvements for us in the Midwest here. RE/MAX International puts out this monthly report powered by the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing, which I know you're a member of. And the Midwest has always been excluded from that report. Well, as a result of my attending that forum, we are now in that report, starting with January.
Good. That's good.
So it's a really nice report that those, such as yourself, that specialize in luxury can put their clients on that email or mailing list, and it's really in-depth statistics on that luxury home market.
Good.
Yeah.
What was their overall temperature prediction of the luxury market? They feel it'll remain solid over the next?
There wasn't any predictions of it slowing down. Interest rates are really going to remain, for the most part, steady through 2022. Maybe, some people said maybe we'll hit 4.5 by 2023. It's still low. Still low.
Yeah. We've been doing this long enough to know that's really, really low still.
Yes. Yeah.
As agents, if you were to give us one piece of advice of what we could be doing better. You see this from a different, I think, eye than I do, right? I'm in it every day. I'm in the trenches. You see us. If you were to say, guys, this is something I think that could be done better in your industry, or you guys could be doing better as agents, what would that be?
This isn't speaking to you specifically. Just
you can speak to me if you want.
Just in general, I just think real estate agents in general could always do a better job at staying in touch with their past clients. That's, too many, and I'm not speaking RE/MAX results realtors in general, just all realtors. Too many of them are chasing that next lead. Mm-hmm. Or buying Zillow leads, or I agree you should always be growing your database and growing your sphere, but all too often when I sit down to coach business plan with our sales executives, and I'm sitting across the table from someone that's done a solid book of business for years, and I'm like, you're sitting on a pot of gold. Mm-hmm. Your past clients, what are you doing with your past clients? Mm-hmm. Take care of your past clients and they'll take care of you. So mm-hmm. that's the biggest thing that I think, and that's real estate 101 from 50 years ago. It hasn't changed.
Yep. No, I think that's great advice. That's great advice. What's the one thing you wish the consumer knew about our industry? I think that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that the consumer just isn't aware of. I think, frankly, Brenda, I think there's a lot of greasy, slimy business practices that go on. I'm not being specific to results agents. I'm just saying in this business, I think people do things for a commission check rather than do things that are in the best interest of a buyer or seller or their client. And I see it every day. It happens all the time. I'm just wondering if you were to tell the consumer, man, you guys really need to know that this goes on in the real estate industry. Is there anything that you would share? I
would say there are, unfortunately, in this industry, a lot of gimmicks out there. I've seen all sorts of marketing gimmicks that have come and go. An example would be guaranteed offer. Mm-hmm. That's been around for years and years and years. There's an actual state statute about guaranteed offers. Mm-hmm. That statute exists for the reason of, of where unfortunately some realtors in the past have used it as bait and switch. Just work with a realtor that you know and trust, or that's someone that is referred to you. Mm-hmm. And there are so many good realtors in this industry that put their clients' needs before their own. There are very, very good people in this industry, and just take your time in making those decisions and do your homework. Mm-hmm.
A very wise man once told me, his name was Tommy Callahan, you can put a guarantee on a box, but what you really have is a guaranteed piece of shit. Right? And it's a gimmick, it's a scam, and it's a way to get the phone to ring and get the realtor on the front door to bait and switch them. So I think that's a great answer. And,
just do your homework. There's, maybe there are consumers that need to sell their home quickly. There are consumers that might be interested in working with an iBuyer. Zillow's no longer doing that, but there's still Open Door. I just heard that Redfin Now has entered the Twin Cities. So there are situations where someone does need to just pack up and go. Definitely. But you can work with your realtor to find that best iBuyer offer. Mm-hmm. They can package that for you and help you make the right decision.
Yeah, estate sales, for example, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great opportunity for somebody to get into that guaranteed program.
Yep.
So I want to switch gears just a little bit. So as you know, I'm a father of two girls. My daughters are 20 and 21, and I love to see successful women like yourself climb the corporate ladder and become leaders of great companies and do such a wonderful job like you have. What bit of advice would you give any young female entrepreneur getting into any business?
Do something every day that scares you. I think that's Audrey Hepburn.
I think it's great advice.
I was interviewing someone yesterday for my podcast that I host, and she said something similar. She said, just do it scared. Do it scared. take chances, work hard. Don't put yourself into a mold of, well, typically this person does this, I should be doing this. Just don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about what other people think. Oh my goodness. Who cares what other people think?
Social media, right?
Oh,
how many likes
horrible.
am I going to get? And if I don't get enough likes, don't feel good about myself.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I know it's easier said than done, but you got to have thick skin. People are always going to judge or have an opinion, and you just can't let that get to you.
Did you deal with a lot of rejection on your way to the top?
Not as far as I know. No, a lot of support, just because having been at the company for so many years, so having worked with so many of our associates on so many different levels, I contribute my relationship with our sales executives. So many of them celebrated me. The ones that didn't know me, might have been, but that's okay. I'm working on that every day, and hopefully building their trust in me that I'm going to help take care of this company and continue the legacy.
So as we move forward in the real estate industry, what are some of your goals for the company, for yourself?
Well, continued growth. It's my job to always look to grow. Like John always says, if you're not growing, you're dying. So, and continue to evolve as far as the services we provide our sales executives, the customer. Our real estate agents, the sales executives are our customer, and we're always looking to provide them more efficient ways of running their business. So constantly evolving there, as always offering the latest tools, technology. So that will never change as long as I'm at the helm. As far as growth, I'd like to hopefully expand a little bit deeper into Wisconsin. We've got a few offices in Wisconsin, but I'd kind of like to head that way.
Any other states? Dakotas or Iowa or Canada?
As far as Dakotas, I could see North Dakota. I don't know, Sioux Falls is pretty cool too.
My daughter lives there. It's a great city.
Yeah, I could see that. That opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. I'd never say never. Iowa is different. Iowa's a little bit of a different, there are no, I don't think there's any RE/MAX franchise in Iowa. So it would be new for the RE/MAX brand, actually. And
okay.
I know. So I could see us entering Dakotas before Iowa, but certainly open to the contiguous, states. We've been presented with opportunities to acquire other companies in other states, and the logistics just don't work out quite yet.
Will you be officially taking over this company someday, or maybe you don't want to share that information?
Don't I already run it?
Is that a goal of yours, or is that information you don't want to share? You kill me if you tell me information.
No, the way that the owner, John Colopy, has it established is so there are trustees, and myself and Mary Grau are part of that, and Suzanne. And so the company will never be sold. The company a portion will obviously go to John's family, a portion will go to the RE/MAX Results Trust, and then always give back to the Results Foundation. It's modeled so that the company will just run in perpetuity, continue to grow the foundation, so the foundation can continue to give back in the areas where RE/MAX Results sells and where our sales executives are involved. I think it's a great setup. So there's there's no pressure there on.
Well, I love your guys'
master takeover.
Your growth mindset and your mindset of the agent is the client, and I mean it's and as I touched on before, nothing but full-time professional agents. I think that you guys just have the right philosophy, and it works, and it's something that I'm proud to be affiliated with. So congratulations to you and your success.
Thank you.
Now, I always like to end my podcast with one question, and it's I always tell people I like to study success. I read a lot of books on success. If you were just give one piece of just success advice to your kids, to anybody out there, and I know we talked about as a female leader, but just as an individual, what would that be?
One piece of success or advice would be to I feel like I've already said this, but I would say just to work hard, and don't worry about what others think, but really work hard, really put in that hustle, that grind. Gosh, I don't think anybody really got to the top by skating through life,
I think that's great advice.
Eventually you do figure out the balance too. You work hard in the beginning, but then also try to figure out that balance piece.
I think, your point of don't worry about what other people think. I think that's a really, really important point.
Figure out what you enjoy doing and just do it tenfold. You really have to enjoy what you do. And it shouldn't feel like a job. It's just like you know what I mean? I love what I do. I get up, I go to work, I grind every day, and it's, you really have to be passionate and really enjoy what you do every day, and then just kill it. So.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Congratulations on all your success, and I look forward to many, many more years working together. So thank you. Thank you for listening to the Raw Real Estate Podcast. If you have any feedback for this episode or want to suggest a future topic or even possible guests, head to wadehansen.com. There you can get links to my Facebook and LinkedIn pages. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see the video version of this podcast too. Again, thank you for listening to the Raw Real Estate Podcast. We'll talk soon.